worried that the U.S. government will go broke and that we are at game time. If we don't deal with this now, we're going to have serious problems.
This is Ray Dalio, billionaire investor and founder of Bridgewater Associates, one of the world's largest and most successful hedge funds. And he's raising a red flag about something big: America's national debt. It has grown to 36 trillion, a number so large it's hard to even imagine. And here's the surprising part. Right now, US is spending more on interest payment than on defense. Let that sink in. It's no wonder this became a major talking point during Trump's 2025 election campaign and involvement of Elon Musk in it.
America's on a path to bankruptcy, so we have to cut government spending or we're just going to go bankrupt, just like a person would.
But the real question is it too late to do something about this growing national debt? And what does a debt this massive means to the future of American dreams? To figure this out, we need to understand how US built up such a massive amount of debt. And for that, we need to go back in time. After World War II, America was the economic leader of the world. And it was running its economy on gold standard. That means US can only print money as much gold it had in its reserve. And that kept the money supply in check. But then in 1971, something happened that changed everything.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
And that opened a floodgate of relentless money printing by every administration that followed. Reagan's tax cuts in 1980s paired with massive Cold War defense spending sent the national debt soaring, tripling in size. Then came the 2008 financial crisis, where trillions were poured into bailout economic stimulus under Bush and Obama to keep the system from collapsing. Fast forward to COVID-19 pandemic, the response was even more staggering. Relief packages under Trump and Biden injected over $7 trillion into the economy in just 2 years, driving the national debt soaring $35 trillion by 2024.
If you print money and you give it to people who have debts or they need money, the way that's been going on a lot really over the last number of years, it will get worth less.
And that's exactly what happened. Trillions were printed, wars, bailout, tax cuts, stimulus packages. At first, it seemed like a solution, a way to keep everything afloat. But the more I researched, the more it felt like a dangerous gamble. A gamble on whether the system could keep going without collapsing under its own weight. And the debt grew rapidly over the last 50 years. Even though this debt is so massive, should the US really worry about it? What happens if US cannot pay it back? To understand this, we need to know what has happened to other countries. In Greece, riot broke out as severe budget cuts tore through communities, leaving many struggling to recover. Zimbabwe's hyperinflation made its currency nearly worthless, wiping out savings overnight. And in Sri Lanka, a debt crisis led to food shortages and political chaos. And these stories are not just faraway events. These are examples of what happens if debt goes out of control. But here is a big question. Could America be next? On surface, it sounds like an overreaction, but if history taught us anything, it repeats itself. And how close is America to the tipping point? The more I researched this, the more I realized debt spiral isn't just a number on a page. It's a trap. It keeps growing bit by bit, ever so slowly that most people don't even notice the danger. It's like the boiling frog experiment. Imagine placing a frog in a pot of water and slowly heating it. At first, frog doesn't notice the temperature rising. It feels manageable, but as the temperature increases, it's too late to escape and the frog is cooked. While the actual experiment is debated, the lesson is clear. Gradual change, when ignored, can lead to disaster. And this is what's happening with American debt. Little by little, it's creeping up. And debt isn't just some abstract government issue. It affects everyone. It impacts education, health, and jobs, every aspect of our life. Take tuition costs. Over the years, college has gone from opportunity to burden. For many, it feels out of reach. And when I compared rise in tuition costs to the national debt, the connection was impossible to ignore. When the government makes loan easier to get, university raise tuitions because they know students can borrow more. It's a cycle. More loans lead to higher costs, and higher costs mean more loan. And this is not just about education. It's an example of how debt fuels spending and spending fuels debt. It's a cycle that keeps moving, and the middle class gets caught in the middle. So how do we stop this? Where exactly the debt is coming from? And is there a way out? As I researched more, a large amount of this debt is tied to Social Security, Medicare, and defense. Cutting these is not only difficult, but it's something that would impact communities and families in a very real ways. So what can be done to find a path forward? Here is where things get interesting.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
The Trump administration is placing a big bet on Bitcoin. It's not just an alternate digital currency, but a technology that could completely change how money is managed.
In the USA, it's going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon, I want America to be the nation that leads the way, and that's what's going to happen.
By using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, government could rely less on traditional banks. This might lower cost and make managing public funds clearer. Blockchain, the technology behind Bitcoin, keeps a public record of every transaction, which could reduce inefficiencies and even fraud. More of this in a separate video. And it's not just Bitcoin. Artificial intelligence is already transforming how we analyze data and manage resources. AI is already changing the way we track our personal finance. These systems can track where funds are wasted and provide smarter ways to spend, and even help us find financial inefficiencies within the system. Combine that with Bitcoin, and you have the tools that could change how we deal with debt entirely. It's not just about technology, it's about creating a smarter, more efficient way forward. Fixing this won't be easy, but it's not impossible either. Smarter policies, innovation, and tough, decisive actions can still turn things around. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about number, it's about people, and it's about the future of opportunity in America. Thank you for watching. I'm Sean. If you find this video interesting, please don't forget to like so that the YouTube algorithm can send this video to more people to watch. And if you're curious what is coming up next, please don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.